Greek mythology are myths that are originally told by ancient Greeks. Greek mythology is found in Greek literature and representations in visual media dating from 900 BC to 800 BC, which is known as the Geometric period. Nowadays, Greek mythology is mixed with Roman mythology. These myths tell about ancient Greek religion, view of the origin and the nature of the world, the lives and activities of deities, heroes, and mythological creatures, and the origin and significance of ancient Greeks' cult and ritual practices. The myth origins or creation myths are attempts to explain the beginning of the universe in human language. The most accepted version nowadays is reported by Hestia and his Diogony. It began with chaos, a yawning nothingness. Then came Gaia, who is Mother Earth. Next came Tardis, who was the depth of wide path Earth, and Uranus, which is love. After Uranus, the sky was born. Next came the 12 Titans, 6 males who were Kolos, Kronos, Hyperion, and Oceanus, and 6 females who were Mnemosyne, Phoebe, Rhea, Dia, Themis, and Teres. No more Titans were born after Kronos. Next were the one-eyed Cyclops and the Hecateries, or 100-handed ones. They were thrown in Tartarus by Uranus, which angered Gaia, who then convinced Kronos to castrate his father. After this, Kronos became the ruler of Titans. This father-son conflict was then repeated with Kronos and Zeus. Kronos got scared after he betrayed his father because he thought his children would do the same. When Rhea, Kronos' sister, gave birth, he snatched up the child and ate it. Rhea didn't like this and tricked him by hiding Zeus, who was the youngest, and wrapping a stone in the baby lingua that Kronos ate. When Zeus grew up, he fed Kronos a drug drink that caused him to vomit. Poseidon, Hades, Hestia, Demeter, and Hera came out. Then Zeus challenged Kronos for kingship of the god, in which he won with the help of Cyclops, whom Zeus freed from Tartarus. Kronos and the other Titans were then sent down into Tartarus for imprisonment. Today I'm going to be talking about one of the 12 Olympians. I'm going to be talking about Hestia, who's one of the 12 Olympians, depending on which myth you're referring to. Hestia is mainly known as just the goddess of home and hearth, but she's actually the goddess of domestic and civic hearth, the home, sacred and sacrificial fire, family, and the state. Her name means hearth, fireplace, and altar. Hestia is one of the most kindest goddesses and the most forgiving. She was hardly seen in the 10-year war, the Titan Machi of the younger Olympian gods and the older generation of Titans. She is the firstborn of the Titans, Kronos and Rhea, but she's also the youngest, since when Zeus gave Kronos the drug drink to get her, Poseidon, Hades, Demeter, and Hera out, it went in reverse order, so she was last one out. Hestia is also a virgin goddess who is devoted to tending the sacrificial flame of hearth. She is rarely seen in Mars because she keeps it to herself. But the myths Hestia is seen in that the most important and most telling are the myths of Papyrus and the donkey, and the myth of Dionysus' ascension to Olympianhood. The myth of Papyrus and donkey is why donkeys get a day off on the feast days of Hestia, and why no one wants Papyrus at their parties. To begin, Papyrus is a fertility god and the son of Dionysus. He was attending a party with the rest of the Greek gods and goddesses, and just about everybody there was relaxed. Hestia has wandered off to take a nap away from the revelry, and at this point, Papyrus was in a mood and looking for nymphs he could talk to. Instead, he found his great aunt taking a rest and thought he could have his way with her, but he didn't think he would be caught. But he didn't factor that donkeys were there. Before anything happened, nearby donkeys started praying, which alerted the other gods and woke up the sleeping goddess. Papyrus was then chased off by angry gods and goddesses and never allowed to attend any more divine jamboree again. The next myth about Hestia is actually Dionysus' ascension to Olympianhood. Dionysus had a rough start in life because of Hera. She robbed him of his first life, his mother Slime, and was the indirect cause of his mutual lover Emesis. Dionysus was also the son of Persephone and Zeus. Once he traveled the world and created wine, Dionysus ascended to Mount Olympus as a worthy Olympian. Upon his ascension, Hestia gave up her throne as one of the 12 Olympians so he could ascend without any objection from the other gods, since 13 is an unlucky number. She abandoned it so there wouldn't be any family tension or argument. Hestia then took on the role of attending the Olympian hearth. Her sacred animal was a pig because its fat can keep the sacrificial fire going. Even though Hestia has few temples completely dedicated to her, she has a shared part in every temple for the gods. Hestia also has a Roman counterpart. Her Roman counterpart's name is Vesta. Vesta is the Roman goddess of hearth, home, family, virginity, and sacred fire, so she is seen as Hestia's counterpart. Vesta's name means pure, and she is also a virgin goddess. Vesta is the daughter of Saturn and Ops, and sister to Jupiter, Neptune, Juno, Ceres, and Pluto. She is almost always depicted as a flame. There is no official mythology on Vesta, but only in the account of Agni and Slavis party is Vesta in myths. Vesta is mentioned in myths when she appears today. One of these myths is the birth of Romulus and Remus. To start, a ghostly peasant once appeared in the Hearth of King Tarchon's Abalanga. Tarchon then consulted an oracle of Titan, and he was advised one of his daughters must have intercourse with the father. He didn't want to take any chances, so he ordered his daughter to go and be done with it. Since she was appalled by the fact of what her father ordered to do, Tarchon's daughter sent her handmaid to do the deed instead. But when the king found out, he was displeased and ordered the handmaiden's immediate execution. But later that night, Vesta appeared in the king's visions and told him not to execute the handmaiden, as doing so would alter history. After, the handmaiden had two healthy twins that Tartarus then ordered his right-hand man to murder. But instead, the man carried the babies out to the river Tibble and left them out the hands of Tension, the goddess of chance. The twins were Romulus and Remus, who were the founders of Rome and its first legendary kings. Another myth that Vesta was in is Papyrus' Advance. It is a myth about a star-studded party that went wrong because of the actions of the Roman god of permanent erections, Papyrus. It is said that Vesta had fallen asleep that night at the party and decided to retreat to the chambers. However, Papyrus wanted to take advantage of her being drunk and violate her chastity. But he didn't consider Silenus, who was a friend of the Roman god of wine Bacchus, pet donkey, was right beside the room. Upon entering her room, the donkey let her obey, that immediately woke up Vesta and got the other gods' attention. Papyrus then escaped in the nick of time, and Vesta's virginity was perfectly fine. Some facts about Vesta is that in Rome there's a major cult in the Temple of Vesta, and her sacred animal is a donkey. She also has a festival dedicated to her. It is called Vestala. Vestala happens once a year from June 7th to June 15th. It is open to matrons who visit it barefoot. Vesta's followers are the Vestal Virgins, a group of priests dedicated to taking care of Vesta's shrine and ensuring Rome's prosperity. She is also the divine hearth of the entire pantheon. Vesta's legacy is in coins, art, temples, and she exists within every home. That is all the information I have about Hestia, the goddess of home and hearth. Thank you for watching. Bye!